I was like a punk weirdo misfit when I was a teenager. Didn't like have the same relationship to the queer community as some of the other girls. And there was also just like not a really strong drag scene happening in St. John's. So I didn't have anybody to teach me anything. So I literally learned it as I went, like looking at photos of myself and being like, don't do that one again. What is the fucking look for tonight? I think that if I didn't do drag, I would have to deal with a lot of pain and sadness that drag allows an opportunity for me to work through. I think as someone that moves through the world mostly as a man, the possibility of femininity as a male designated person was not just taken from me, but like taken from me with threat. So drag opened up the possibility of connecting with that part of myself in a very like beautiful and genuine way.
Makiki is interested in gender play and exploration, and these ideas were echoed by two drag queens that I spoke to at Buddies in Bad Times Theatre in Toronto. They say that drag is so much more than a man dressing up as a woman. For them, drag is about community.
Drag, especially, you know, when you talk about is it political or not, I think drag is such an opportunity to break away from the binary and the heteronormative ideas that we have to live with in society. I think it's a really cool way to be like, okay, no, let's stop talking about things in such a black and white way. There is a very mainstream idea of like, drag is a man dressing up as a woman, where it's like, it's so much more exciting than that. And it's not that simple. And that's the point, is there are no rules, and that drag can be such a release agenda. And I think that the point of drag is that it's limitless, and it's not going to be the same thing for me as it is for you. And that's the point, is that it's expression and it's whatever you want to be.
Drag and performing is something that allows me to express myself outside of just my regular life. It allows me to be part of the community and to represent a part of the community to a greater audience, because we have such a variety of audience, such a crazy amount of straight people, gay people, trans, bi. Everybody comes to see our shows. So I love being a part of the community that really represents and shows and has a good time with them. And even though we're dressed up crazy and I look like a clown now, we're just here to have a good time and have fun. About drag, it is about representing in my case, the hyper feminine. I love big hair, I love costumes, I love jewelry, I love rhinestones, I love all of that. But for some people it's a lot different. So it just depends on where you are and who you're talking to on what their drag means to them. But for me it's about, you know, having a good time, being larger than life, and having an attitude that matches it.
I think that life in general is political. It's whether we acknowledge the politics inherent in the way that we move through the world, you know, about the intersections of privilege or marginalization in the different facets of our identities. So I think that because drag historically has been about a particularly marginalized aspect of queerness, which is like feminized men, or men who kind of exist in a on the feminine spectrum, it's always political. It always has been political. It always will be political. I find it frustrating when people want to pretend that we exist outside of a politic, and I think that that is inherently a position of privilege, to say that I don't have to think about politics because my ability to move through the world is fine. And as a drag queen, as a person living with HIV, as a person, you know, who uses drugs, as a person with mental health issues, like there's a whole bunch of reasons why I want to create space or take up an opportunity to talk about some of the politics inherent to engaging in mainstream queer culture and engaging in drag culture.
Toronto's drag scene is fabulous, full of energy, and brimming with attitude. It's a place where people can come together and make statements and redefine gender roles. So grab your heels, the Toronto drag scene has a place for everyone. For Toronto Today, I'm Trevor Green.